Hi, I'm Kate from Daily Tarot Girl, and welcome to your weekly tarot card reading. So for this week's reading, I'm going to be using the Naked Heart Tarot, and it is by Jillian Wilde. So I'm just going to shuffle my cards here, and if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. I post these reading videos every week, and there's something else I was going to say before I started. Oh yeah, my intention with this week's reading is just to get kind of an overview of the week ahead and just tune into the wisdom of the tarot and see what messages it has for us about, you know, what to tap into, what to pay attention to over the next few days. All right, so I'm going to be drawing 3 cards. So I'm going to just start by drawing the first card for the beginning of the week. So this is the card for Monday and Tuesday of the upcoming week. And we have 2 of Cups. All right. So we've got 2 of Cups for the beginning. I'll just move over here to make room for that card to pop up on the screen. All right, so this is a wonderful way to start the week off. 2 of Cups is a very, I guess what I would call like a very friendly card. It's a card of connection and connecting with others in your life. This could be connecting with one special person in your life, maybe your significant other, or simply connecting with a good friend or even a colleague. This is it's not just a meeting of minds. It's not just about understanding another person and feeling understood. This is a real connection of hearts, connecting your heart. And I think that we're so used to thinking of this in a romantic way, but it doesn't have to be romantic. There's other ways that we can connect with someone and have love for someone and receive love that is not romantic, that is more, what's the word? Platonic. It's like a non-sexual kind of love, like a really deep friendship, or the kind of love that you have maybe for your pets. So with the 2 of Cups, the beginning of the week, the message I get here is, I feel like focusing on the relationships that we have with the people or even, you know, animals that are important to us is a really worthwhile way to start the week off. It's a worthwhile thing to focus on at the beginning of the week. I mean, it's a worthwhile thing to focus on at any point in time, but it seems like it's really important at the beginning of the week. And if there's any conflicts that you're having right now in your life, whether it's with people that you're close to or just people that you come into contact with in your day-to-day life, the 2 of Cups suggests really getting into your heart and seeing if you can find a way to relate to that person. So seeking the similarities that you may have, the commonalities that you might have with that person, as opposed to the differences. Because I think, again, we're used to comparing and contrasting and looking for differences and noticing how we're different from others. It's not as easy sometimes, or maybe I'm just speaking from my own point of view, but it's not always as easy to see how we have something in common, especially if we're talking about like an adversary or someone that you can't stand. It's a lot harder to see how you might have something in common with that person. And so with the 2 of Cups, it's asking us to be gentle this week in all of our interactions and relationships, particularly the ones that we're kind of struggling with, the ones where, and again, this may be a relationship that you're maybe struggling with of someone who's really close to you, or it could just be an acquaintance or someone that you come into contact with on a regular basis. But the 2 of Cups is advising you to look for commonalities and similarities and don't put as much importance on the differences, and see what happens when you do that. I notice myself when I do that, when I look at someone that maybe I can't stand, And I look to see like, okay, how am I like this person? Like what do we have in common? And once I find that, it feels like a space opens up inside me. Whereas before I might have felt tension or conflict or annoyance. Finding that common ground, it's like a space opens up. You can kind of breathe a sigh of relief. All right, so that's what I'm getting with the first card for the beginning of the week. And I feel like that is going to kind of set the foundation for the rest of the week. The way that we relate to others is going to set the foundation for the next few days. So let's look at the card for the middle of the week, so Wednesday, Thursday-ish. And I'm going to choose another card here. Okay. And we have the Heart of Pentacles. So this is actually the Queen of Pentacles. Okay. Heart of Pentacles. So after talking about, getting into your heart and connecting with others, here we have Queen of Pentacles, which is also called the Heart of Pentacles. Let me tell you a little bit about the Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles, out of all the queens, she is the most grounded and down to earth. She has 2 feet firmly planted on the earth, planted in the ground, and she is very much anchored in the physical environment. So she's very much in her body, she's in the present moment, and just focusing on those 2 things this week is going to be really helpful for us. So focusing on getting grounded, and I say this a lot, and sometimes people know what I'm talking about when I say getting grounded, but I'm going to give some suggestions on how you can actually really get grounded. So being grounded means that you're anchored in the physical here and now, on the physical plane. And we can do this by really inhabiting our bodies fully, really connecting to our bodies. So really feeling, just being quiet for a moment as you're sitting here. And just noticing your breath in your body. And noticing how your breath feels moving in and out of your body. And just doing that for honestly, when I just do this for a few seconds, I feel my mind start to slow down. I feel my heartbeat start to slow. I become calmer. And I become more present with what's going on in my body. And then just noticing, is there any sensation you're feeling in your body? Noticing where your attention is drawn to. My attention is drawn to my head because I have a little bit of a dull headache. Probably from too much coffee this morning. So just noticing how you're feeling and checking in with your 5 senses, noticing what you're tasting, what you're smelling, what you're seeing, what you're hearing, and your sense of touch. Just noticing what you're picking up on. And as you move through your 5 senses, and it doesn't have to take a long time, you can just spend a couple seconds with each sense. But as you move through each sense, you start to come into your body. You start to fully inhabit your body. And it brings you into the now, into the present moment. And I don't know if you've ever heard the term or the phrase that your point of power is in the now. So when you're fully present, when you're really in your body, when you're really taking up space in that way, that really is your point of power. You feel you're calm, you're connected, you're tuned in, you're powerful in that moment. So this is what I get when I look at the Queen of Pentacles or the Heart of Pentacles, is that it's going to be really important this week to really be present, be in the here and now. When we're in this space, we're going to be able to notice things that we wouldn't otherwise notice if we're, way up in our heads, if we're thinking about past, if we're thinking about future, if we're concerned with being busy and doing this and doing that, we're going to miss a lot. So when we get really present like this, we're going to notice things that we wouldn't otherwise notice. We might notice certain details, certain opportunities. We may notice certain intuitive things that come to us. And this is interesting because we often think of intuition as being kind of more energetic and kind of out there. We don't necessarily think of intuition and psychic ability as being this grounded, earthy thing. And it isn't, but we have to first get grounded. We have to first connect to that part of ourselves in order to really deeply access our intuition. So that's what I get with the Heart of Pentacles. Let's move on to the next card. So this card is going to be for the end of the week, so the weekend, kind of like Friday, Saturday, Sunday-ish. Okay, and the card we got here is the Sage. Okay, I think that's the Hierophant. I know some of the majors have been renamed in this deck. I'm pretty sure that's the Hierophant though, so I'm gonna go with that. So I love this because we've got a book, which to me represents knowledge, but maybe not our own knowledge, maybe someone else's knowledge that they've gathered and are now sharing with us. And then there's the Eye, which makes me think of like wisdom, sight, and then there is that triangle, which makes me think of like a hierarchy. And then there's the plant, which makes me think of growth. And there's also stars, which makes me think of the cosmos and our connection to the big picture, to the greater picture. So I get a few ideas with the Sage. The end of the week is it's a time of learning and a time of growth. And it's about being able to connect with your own inner wisdom, as well as connecting with the wisdom of others, which I guess you could think of as outer wisdom. So when we learn from a teacher, we're connecting with someone else's knowledge, someone else's wisdom. When we, study a particular religion or a philosophical belief, or we learn a certain skill, we're connecting with sort of an outside form of knowledge and wisdom. And it's important to, I think, do both. It's important to connect with our own inner wisdom as well as connecting with outer wisdom. It's important to learn from others, but you don't want to just focus on doing that and ignore your own inner wisdom. You want to have that sort of back and forth relationship. You want to be able to do both. There's value in doing both. So yeah, that's the first thing that comes to mind when I look at this card. And I just need a minute with this card. See, this is the thing when I'm doing this, I don't edit my videos, so sometimes there's a little bit of a gap where I have to kind of contemplate a card. So as I'm gapping out and contemplating the card, I want you to do the same. So have a look at this card. Notice where your attention is drawn. Notice if there's a particular symbol. I'm really drawn to the book. Now I know the book is in the center of the card, so maybe that's why I'm drawn to it, but I'm really drawn to that open book. I'm drawn to the middle of the book. It's almost like I want to make myself really, really small and just like dive into that little crack in the middle of the book, like dive into the center of that book, right into the spine of the book, and go right into it. Now, if I were to read this in a very literal way, the message is about getting into a good book this weekend. Diving into a book that helps you get a better understanding of things. It could be a fiction or nonfiction book, it doesn't matter. But getting into a really good book, a book that just like sucks you in and really helps you kind of connect with your inner wisdom, as well as the wisdom of others outside of you. So that's what I'm getting. This weekend is a good time to hunker down with a really good book. That's one way of looking at this. Another way of reading it would be this weekend is a good time to learn from others, whether it's taking a course, studying something, learning from a teacher, learning from a book, this is a good weekend to do that and to really expand your knowledge. So let's look at all these cards together now. Okay, so we have Two of Cups for the beginning of the week. We have Heart of Pentacles or Queen of Pentacles for the middle of the week. And then we have the Sage or the Hierophant for the end of the week. And what's really interesting, if you look at the very top of these cards, the first two cards have an inverted triangle to represent them. And the Sage, which I think is number 5, Roman numeral 5, it also looks like an inverted triangle, just without the top part. It's like just the V. So I think that's cool. So they're all kind of connected that way. But of course the Sage is one of the main symbols on this card is an upright triangle. So we have the two inverted triangles and then the upright triangle. So to me, I feel like the first two cards, even though they're different suits, we've got cups, we've got pentacles, and we have a major arcana card. I feel like the first two cards, there's more of a focus on going inward with these two things, kind of going inward and even stillness to a certain extent. And with the Hierophant, it's more about seeking outward. So seeking inward for the beginning of the week and even the middle of the week. And by the weekend, it's more about kind of switching things up and kind of seeking outward. All right. The colors that I'm noticing, so the middle card, there's a lot of brown and black on this card. And that just makes me think of the earth being grounded, being centered, being practical. And then the red at the beginning of the week, to me, is about feeling and connection and getting in touch with your feelings and your emotions, especially that like love energy, that compassion energy. And then by the end of the week, we have green. And I think of growth and expanding outward with that color and life. Like red and green are both lively, life-giving colors. But the red is more about the emotions and tuning inward, and green is more about expanding outward and growing. So that's what I get from those three cards. Just looking to see if there's anything else I want to mention here, but I think I've covered it. Yeah, so I want to turn it over to you. So have a look at these cards, and if you feel like sharing, feel free. So you can share in the comment section. You know, if you noticed anything or if you have any insights that you want to share, if there's one particular card that kind of jumped out at you, that felt more powerful than the others, that really speaks to you, feel free to share in the comments below this video. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to learn more about tarot or learn more about how to learn tarot, you can check out my website, dailytarotgirl.com. I'll put the link just below this video. And yeah, have a really wonderful week. Bye-bye.